Welcome back everyone. So today I'm super excited to bring you a Prismatic Hunter combo that is actually very powerful. Not very many people know about it, and it reminds me of the OG Luna's Howl and Not Forgotten days where you could 3-tap any Guardian at any resilience at lightning speed. Trust me, you'll want to use this build in the upcoming Iron Banner and even in the competitive and trials game modes. Here I'm using the new 180 RPM hand cannon, the Sightline Survey, and my god, it's an amazing hand cannon in its own right. But what I've done with this build is taken away its one weakness, resilience gating. With this build, we can kill a 10 resilience Guardian in 3 shots within 0.67 seconds. So that's faster than the current king of the meta, Kvostov, and you can peek shoot with it, making it a superior option than other weapons out there. All of this without requiring a kill. Yes, we can set this all up on the very first kill. And even better, we can extend this beyond the initial kill and keep going, allowing you to go on some insane kill streaks. The best thing about this build is that you do not sacrifice a single part of the Prismatic Hunter kit that makes it so powerful. We still have all of the area of denial abilities that make it so strong. In fact, the kit actually synergizes with the build, and I'd argue it makes it even better because we can dodge further and we can even generate ionic traces in PvP, so we regenerate all of our abilities even faster. The neutral play of this build is off the charts. So let me start off by talking about the weapon in this build, Sightline Survey. So Sightline Survey is a 180 RPM arc hand cannon that is obtainable through the new seasonal activity, and it's craftable, which means it has access to enhanced perks. Now I know what you're thinking, a 180 RPM hand cannon generally isn't a viable crucible option because it usually has poor range and a poor TTK of 1 second. But luckily the Sightline Survey has some amazing perks and bypasses both of those downsides. It has incredible range, the most range we've seen on a 180 RPM hand cannon in the current sandbox, thanks to it rolling with keep away in that first column. With a max range roll, you can actually hit nearly 35 meters of range, which is incredible for this archetype. And then thanks to Precision Instrument, Enhanced Precision Instrument in that second column, we can reduce the TTK of the gun. Against Guardians 5 resilience or below, this thing will 3-tap thanks to Enhanced Precision Instrument. And because it's a precision frame hand cannon, I found it so easy to hit that 3-tap because the recoil pattern is pretty easy to control. On its own, Sightline Survey is a perfect anti-hunter weapon, allowing you to destroy lower resilience Guardians in quick time, all the whilst retaining the benefits of a hand cannon. But what about those pesky Titans and Warlocks who are running higher resilience levels? What can we do to reduce the TTK against those guys? Well, what we do is we combine Sightline Survey with the Hunter Exotic Helmet Mask of Bakris. Mask of Bakris, whilst you have a stasis super equipped, changes your dodge into a teleportation move. More importantly for the build, it provides you with a 10-second buff to arc and stasis weapons following this teleport. This is a 6% increased damage buff, and combined with an enhanced Precision Instrument Sightline Survey, this combination allows you to 3-tap even 10 resilience Guardians. The great thing about Mask of Bakris is that it synergizes beautifully with the Hunter aspect in the Prismatic kit. With Winter's Shroud, any opponent that gets caught in between the teleportation will be slowed, and you also get a bit of damage reduction, meaning you're harder to kill. And with Threaded Spectre, you can also spawn a Spectre when using the Bakris dodge, meaning this can be a great tool for preventing an opponent from rushing you. In this build, we end up using it more proactively to activate the weapon damage bonus, but even then, the Threaded Spectre you spawn can be very useful for radar misdirection. Now, how do we make this even more broken? We combine this with the artifact perk Radiant Orbs. Radiant Orbs allows you to become Radiant, which is a 10% damage buff in PvP for 10 seconds when you pick up an Orb of Power. So what we do is we use the mod Reaper, which also synergizes with the Bakris dodge, meaning once you kill that first person, and remember that first person will be pretty easy to kill because you can 3-tap them thanks to the Bakris weapon damage buff, they'll drop an Orb of Power, and then when you pick up that Orb of Power, you'll then have Radiant for the next 10 seconds, allowing you to go on more 3-tap killing sprees. It's actually so powerful and so fun. Within this kit, we actually have a second way of becoming Radiant as well, through our Fragment Facet of Dawn. We combine this with the new and improved Smoke Bomb, which when it damages an enemy, it will grant you 5 seconds of Radiant. Because we're using Gambler's Dodge, when you Bakris near someone, you also get your Smoke Bomb back, meaning you can really spam your Smoke Bombs for more misdirection and slow. The icing on the cake is our Swarm Grenades, which when combined with our Smoke Bombs can create a devastating wombo combo, allowing you to not only lock down huge areas, but also inflict some serious damage and pressure onto opponents. Our other fragments are designed to minimize our dodge cooldown so that we can use our Bakris teleport more often. Trust me, with this Prismatic build, I actually had my dodge up way more often than the original Stasis Bakris build. We use Facet of Hope, which gives us more class ability regeneration when you have an elemental buff. You'll get Radiant, which counts as an elemental buff a lot with this build, so you'll proc this fragment a lot. Then we use Facet of Awakening, which when we rapidly defeat enemies, creates an elemental pickup based on what the damage type you used to kill the opponent was. This only takes 2 opponents in rapid succession to proc, and if you kill the second person with Sightline Survey, as Sightline is an arc weapon, it will create an ionic trace which will track towards you automatically and give you even more ability energy. Let's cover the rest of the build, including the other fragments, the stat distribution, and the armor mods we're running. For our super, we run Silence and Squall. For Mask of Bakris, you have to be running a Stasis super. Silence and Squall is a pretty good shutdown super, and it has the lowest cooldown out of all the Hunter Prismatic supers. I then run Gambler's Dodge, so every time I use the Bakris teleport, I can get my Smoke Bomb back. Strafe Jump, Smoke Bomb, Swarm Grenade. Our 2 aspects which we've discussed are Threaded Spectre and Winter Shroud, which actually allow us to have 6 whole fragments. For our fragments, I've got Facet of Hope for better class ability regeneration, Facet of Dawn to gain Radiant when our smoke damages an enemy, Facet of Protection for more strength and on occasion more damage reduction, but in all honesty, I'd run Facet of Defiance here for the 10 recovery stat, Facet of Awakening for the 10 resilience boost, and it allows us to generate Ionic Traces from Sightline Survey kills, Facet of Ruin for the 10 mobility boost, and because it works with conditional finality, the special weapon we pair with this build for better shatter and better ignitions. Facet of Blessing so that in melee battles we can trigger health regeneration which can help us survive. In terms of armor mods, the priority here is to generate orbs of power through our dodge ability. On my cloak I run 1 Reaper and 2 bomber mods. This means when I use my Bakris dodge, the next kill I will generate an orb of power. Remember, you want to be running Radiant Orbs so that you can get Radiant from those Orbs of Power. On my boots, I ran 2 Insulation to gain back more class ability energy when I picked up an Orb of Power, and 1 Recuperation, which gives back a chunk of health, which can be pretty useful in helping you survive when you're running towards that Orb of Power. Then I'd run 2 Arc Unflinching mods, 1 Arc Dexterity mod, and 1 Arc Targeting mod. In terms of stat distribution, the number 1 stat to aim for this build is 100 mobility, so that you can minimize your Bakris dodge cooldown. Then aim for 100 recovery, or as close as possible, to minimize the amount of time needed to heal in between engagements. Then finally aim for a high discipline stat, so you can spam your swarm grenades. Remember, you don't need a high strength stat, you'll get your smoke bomb back by dodging near enemies. So there you have it, my Bakris Sightline Survey build. That is an absolute powerhouse. With it you can achieve a faster TTK than nearly every other gun out there, and it feels absolutely incredible to use. If you enjoyed what I talked about today, remember to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel for more Destiny builds, both PvP and PvE. I'm Mr. Ronit, and that's it for today. Peace out, guys.